draft is ready, so we hope all of you watching at home are as well. The drafting phase shall now officially begin.
Right now, looking at the draft, for the side of Team SMG, Box has been using Akai as the jungler with the Demon Slayer emblem. He is, in all sense of the word, he was an assassin player, but we have seen this player evolve into something different. And this is the thing what I say, that James, he has a very good team on his side, because essentially, it doesn't matter what kind of draft that he wants to bring, the players will respect it and be like, you know what, you're the coach, we believe you, we're going to execute it. Because, you know, talking with Hate, in terms of his hero pool, he said, yeah, I kind of don't mind whatever James wants me to do, I'll do it. The Lilia game, he was very indifferent. It's like, you know what, you want Lilia? I'll give you Lilia. And it was an amazing Lilia performance.
But a lot of this does also come down to whether or not the player has the skills and the hero pool to be able to pull off such a thing. Yes, being able to listen to your coach and draft exactly the lineup that they're planning to go for makes a lot of sense strategically, because they can look at it from a wider perspective. But if the player themselves doesn't have the mechanical skill to actually pull off the hero in the first place, it becomes more of a detriment than an advantage. So it does make the job of a coach quite difficult, knowing how to balance the team lineup with your players' capabilities.
Yeah, and I do want to bring this up because I've seen quite a few games where it looks like the dynamic of the first pick as well as the second pick have shifted, where before this, if you were in the second pick, you have this heroes that no matter what, you gotta ban out, and one of them was 1-1. But now it looks like whoever is the first pick, they have to ban this 1-1 because they have other heroes that they want to prioritize. They don't want to take the 1-1 first pick, but they understand the strength of this hero where you can't let the opponent take it as the second pick. So even if you are a first pick draft, you still got to be careful on the heroes that you're going to let out. And right now, Team SMG, they're banning out the Diggy. This kind of looks like Box is going on to Akai again.
Yeah, this is a direct challenge from Team SMG to Team HAQ. They're saying, we ban the Diggy, you know we want the Akai. Are you going to ban it? Because if they're forced to ban the Akai, it allows stronger heroes like the Julian, like the Ling, which are all still open to get let through the draft. Natalia as well, being a hero that a lot of teams have so far contested. You can see that nowadays the hero pool that's viable in the meta has become much larger than before, which allows the games to be a lot more interesting, but also makes drafting that much more difficult.
Thamos has been banned, and to be fair, Thamos is super strong. So far, we've seen any XP laner get the hand on Thamos. They basically just win the lane, and then they can control 2/3 of the map. So I can understand this ban. However, it does show that they kind of want SMG to pick something up, meaning the Akai, but it looks like they have a different answer for themselves. And I do want to say that the Diggy is actually quite beneficial for both teams, because MANNN, as a roamer, he likes those AoE catch style of heroes like the Atlas. So having no Diggy in the game kind of activates him as well. But yeah, you talked about Natalia, and MANNN's Natalia is pretty good as well.
Yeah, this is actually quite comfortable for Team HAQ, and with Akai picked up by SMG, an easy start would be something like a Julian Beatrix. We've already seen Team HAQ go for this before. Panda and MANNN's comfort heroes. Julian locked in, but not the Beatrix. They are going for the Esmeralda first instead.
I feel like this is a situation where, again, Panda has experience with SMG. He kind of knows the way that they think. So perhaps taking his hero first is showing a little bit too much. So I think for his side, it's like, I want to win my lane, but I need to know what I'm up against, because I feel like the Esmeralda, not too necessary to pick this early up. So I kind of feel it is a situation where Panda wants to see what SMG has to offer first.
So it's something more like a safe pick while they try and figure out more of what Team SMG's strategy is. That does make sense here. We saw previously that Panda would usually first pick the Beatrix, but this time he's gonna be laning against Sasa, and you have to have a winning lane there. So I suppose it's understandable, but that means that Sasa will be able to pick up the Beatrix for himself alongside the Cho for Team SMG.
Good move or bad move? Because we saw Sasa on the Beatrix. He looks super comfortable. He really likes this hero, especially because you can basically attack the turrets outside the turret range. So for the side of Team HAQ, they have to answer this either in the laning phase, or MANNN has to use someone that can shut down this Beatrix. So I'm looking at the Lolita for MANNN if he wants to pick it up now. Or for the side of Team HAQ, there are options in the lane like the Clint, the Brody, but Panda does have to play a little bit aggressive, where so far when Sasa has the Beatrix, usually he's the one in control of the lane.
I think they probably want to prioritize Panda's hero here. Yes, they could go for a counter with Min first, but leaving it open means that Min would have a more flexible choice in terms of tank heroes, whereas if they allow Panda's pick to not be selected at this point, it's very easy for Team SMG to ban out strong heroes like the Clint, like the Popple and Koopa, and that's exactly what they've gone for. Clint will be the final pickup for Team HAQ in this first phase.
Yeah, we talked about it. So they did pick up the Clint, and the Clint is pretty reliable going up against the Beatrix. But again, this is Sasa on the Beatrix, so we do have to see whether this pick actually pays off. Especially, I do want to see what items does he want to prioritize first, because we've seen some players here in the MPL Malaysia where they go for a very costly build and it really doesn't help them out too much. So for the side of Team HAQ, they themselves banned out the Eve. Do you think this is a good ban?
I think it's more of a necessary ban at this point. The fact that Team HAQ have to pick up the Clint here is not actually too ideal for them, because Akai and Cho will eat Clint for breakfast. It's so easy to pin him down in the backline. If they have to deal with a real-world manipulation on top of that, it would be way too difficult for Panda to actually play the game. So right now, they're going to be focusing on heroes that are able to control the battlefield, because they want to be the ones deciding where they position when they fight. They cannot allow Team SMG to dictate that.
Speaking of which, Team HAQ, MANNN, his hero pool has been pretty big, where he was the one that brought in a very good Xavier for the previous season. However, in this season, no teams have picked or banned the Xavier. And talking with the teams, apparently, in their opinion right now, Xavier's power really doesn't justify him getting picked, because his early game is too weak, and by late game, he's basically on par with other mages. So might as well just take other mages right now. Team HAQ, a good respect betting out the Lilia, and I feel like it's pretty good just because with the Lilia you can roam very fast. So I feel like if you can control Hate's roaming speed, that'll be pretty good for Panda on the Clint.
Yeah, this is a respect ban towards Hate. Obviously, he got MVP with Lilia twice yesterday. That's already more than enough reason, but it is also another hero that would be very annoying to deal with and doesn't allow you to move around the battlefield as much as you want. We know Team HAQ, they value that mobility very heavily, because Min and MANNN like to move around the map as a pair. We can see Team SMG have banned out the twins' comfort picks here, the Atlas and the Kadita, because they recognize the threat of this combo coming out from Team HAQ. They don't want to allow them to have easy initiation and easy escape. But that also means they are suspecting the Julian could still go into the jungle.
Yeah, looking at the reaction from the Team HAQ, it looks like they like this ban, but at the same time, it kind of looks like, oh no, they know what we were they know what we were up to, because the Karita really doesn't show up that much here in the MPL. However, like certain players like Aim from Orange Esport, they really like the Karita just because of the burst potential and basically just going to the backline, no one can basically stop you. For the side of Team HAQ right now, picking up the Ruby, so a roam Ruby.
Most likely a roam Ruby.
Roam Ruby.
This is going to be Min's pick, and pretty standard here. When you see a Cho roam on the opposite side, Ruby roam is typically a solid answer, because they both have a lot of CC and mobility. And this is already going to put a little bit of bias from me personally, because yeah, this is my favorite hero. Always enjoy watching it, but it is going to be a little bit difficult. Heavy spin is not going to be fun for Min.
Yeah, I'm looking for the side of Team SMG. Will they try to counter this? And right now they have picked up the Kagura, which again is another hero that Hate has been doing good on, and Dyrov just to counter the Esmeralda. So far for the side of SMG, I would say this is a very safe draft, almost more or less the same of previous season of MPL.
Yeah, this is a very balanced team composition. This is basically the ideal you want to look for if you're queuing up in a pub ranked game. And your team has this lineup, you're like, alright, we're good. No one's throwing this game away. So it's just respectable, it's good. Team HAQ also has the makings of a very balanced team as well. They're going to be slightly tankier than Team SMG overall, but it also does depend very heavily on this final pickup. And this will show us whether or not Julian is the jungler or the mid laner. Final pick coming out from Team HAQ. What's it gonna be?
I don't know, but right now looking at Team SMG, we talked about it being safe. I do have to say that they scale very well as well. And Team HAQ, they're focusing more on more on burst, and right now Ling being in the jungle, I feel like this is a very good pickup because they need someone to answer the Beatrix, and Box, the way that he plays, he can take care of its team, but looking at how Team HAQ, the way that MANNN can go very, very aggressively, I think they can bait out the heavy spin and giving a lot of room for Gary to really wreak havoc in the backline.
Yeah, this is classic Team HAQ gameplay, skirmish style that allows each player to move around and get pickups while having enough heroes to force out cooldowns from the opposing side. But it will come down to how Team SMG plays, because we have to note, once that Beatrix starts scaling up, even if Ling jumps on her, a single Wesker shot to the face is more than enough. So now, as we prepare to enter the land of Dawn, looking at the team lineups once again, as we mentioned, Team SMG super balanced, good scaling. Team HAQ, strong front line, strong back line, lots of DPS, and a solid amount of scaling himself. Personally, this is one of the most balanced matchups I have seen in MPL for quite a long time. So let's see which way the tables will turn as we begin our first series of the day.
Right now, we have started between Team SMG going up against Team HAQ, and right now, again, we can hear the crowd cheering for Team HAQ. We have to look at the level of aggression coming in from both these teams, because looking at the rotation, MANNN already knows what Box is doing. He knows that he's starting the orange buff first, and the same can be said for the side of Noir, so both roamers have the same idea of what they want to do against the enemy jungler.
You can see that Noir already invading into Team HAQ's jungle to try and harass Gary out, but he was still able to secure the orange buff, but he did have to use Retribution, and now it's Move joining him. Gary has to be forced to shift his jungle rotation.
Yeah, looking at the side of Team SMG, they're really focusing on the top half of the map, at least for the first 2 minutes over here. You're trying to make sure that they can control the EXP lane. Looking at the emblems, so far I feel like not much is really to be said, except for the side of Team HAQ. They have a lot of penetration on the side, so they're really trying to make sure that they can burst anyone out. But look at Team SMG, they're really controlling the buff, making sure that Gary doesn't get the purple buff.
And it does look like Box was able to secure that. I have to look at Gary again to confirm it, but since he's level 2, I have to assume they were able to get that, which means that the Ling is going to be out of commission for a while, and MANNN and MANNN getting chunked out quite low too.
This is why we say that for the side of SMG, the drop is super safe, and Gary, he has no chance. Like, especially because he is using the assassin emblem, he's looking for earlier kills just because he has the extra penetration. However, with the farm being like this, it's being very, very difficult. Like, in terms of gold difference, it's only 400, but it's really the impact to the jungler. We can look at the roaming speed from Team HAQ has been severely lessened.
Yeah, it's definitely been impeded quite heavily, and this is of course because Akai is going to have a much easier time in the jungle in the first few levels as compared to a Ling, unless Gary can get that purple buff. And now Lola gonna be the target, and instantly first blood going over the hate with a beautiful yin-yang overturn. Box getting the turtle just for the cherry on top.
Team SMG, the way that they rotate, they really dictate the pace of the game because they control, making sure that Gary could not farm. And right now, Gary is trying to steal the orange buff for the side of Team SMG, and it looks like everyone is there. Noir tries to kick him, but he couldn't do it. Gary has to leave. Right now, for the side of Team HAQ, they have to slow the game down a little bit, try to scale, because Team SMG, they're in complete control.
Yeah, they really are. Gary was able to take the orange buff away, but it forced his retribution and ultimate out, and we ended up losing one at the top lane. Box stealing the purple buff again, and MANNN 1v4 not going to be enough. I'm not sure that I'm offended was the best idea, as it allowed Sasa to close the gap and get the kill.
I feel like it's one of those desperate moments. What else can I do? I might as well just pull him in, try to see any... If Lux is on my side, basically. But right now, for the side of Team SMG, they're following the same script that they did before going up against Suaz, if I'm not mistaken, where just control the jungle. This is the way that they want to put the tempo onto Team HAQ, control the jungle, one aspect of the game, but it looks like all lanes are basically unplayable right now. And we talked about how Sasa going up against Panda, the Beatrix, as well as the Clint. Can the Clint handle the Beatrix? And so far, Sasa has been winning his lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can say the same for Smooth. Almost 2 levels up on Lola thanks to the roam from Hate, who, by the way, already got his Clock of Destiny. That is quite quick. considering the state of the game right now. With a 2k net worth lead 4 minutes in, Team SMG are definitely in control, and this is exactly how you want to play against Team HAQ. Just do not allow Min and Man to get their early game combos, and all of a sudden they won't have control over the map.
Be decisive. That is what SMG is showing us. Be decisive right now. They know what they're doing. And Gary is being focused on. He is able to run away. Box is inside Team HAQ territory.
Ooh.
But looks like MANNN, he will be put down. Team SMG again controlling the jungle, not allowing Team HAQ to get any sort of farm.
And Box just consistently stealing buffs away from Gary. I'm honestly curious to see how many buffs have been stolen this entire time. Sasa in the bottom lane as well, clearing up the entire gold turret shield before it expires. So that's going to be a lot of money going over to the Beatrix.
Yeah, right now 2,000 gold ahead. Noir finds 4 people of Team HAQ. He's just trying to run away. And looking at the way that Team HAQ is itemizing, Panda did pick up the endless battle, so I feel like they don't really have a choice. The only way they can really salvage this game is if they can hold their turrets. Looking at the itemization over here again, Panda has the endless battle and looks like he is going for a Blade of Despair. Quite a greedy build in my opinion, especially since you're on the losing foot of this game.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit risky, but understandable. They want to be able to catch up in terms of damage right now. What I'm mainly focused about is the difference between Hate and MANNN right now in the mid lane. 2 levels up on this Kagura. He already has boots completed, Clock of Destiny. MANNN only has his first item. So the mid lane control, which is very important in this current meta, firmly in Team SMG.
Oh wow! Look at Smooth, 20,000 damage. Like, he's so far ahead out of everyone. And I gotta say, I'm sorry, Lola, but he's not having a good game if Smooth is dealing 20,000 damage.
We know Smooth is a very comfortable EXP laner on tankier heroes. He's doing the same on Deroff, and Box gonna perfectly time it again to steal the orange buff. Noir now in danger, getting pulled back. Finally gonna get taken out by Team HAQ. The first kill of the game for them.
You gotta find an answer for Box, man, because he's being a little bit too much. This is obnoxious. He's treating the jungle anywhere that has bushes, it's my territory. He's going in again. He's pushing the buff away. He managed to catch Min. Min is gonna go down. I think Box secured that. And Gary, how can you find any kind of farm? Team SMG is in complete control, and Team HAQ, they're thirsty, they're hungry. Give them something to eat.
This is masterclass in oppression from Team SMG. Imagine Box just walking into the jungle 1v4, gets a kill, and steals the purple buff. That is unheard of. That should never happen. And the fact that Team HAQ allows it to, usually they are able to control this much better. And the AI already saying 77% Team SMG gonna be victorious here.
Yeah, AI winning prediction brought to you by Make Delivery. And right now, I do want to see the difference in gold, just because I want to see in comparison, right? How far of a gold lead does Box have over Gary? Because sure, Sasa probably has the highest gold in the game, but I just want to see comparatively. And looking at hate-bound Panda. Panda, you are the key to victory. If you go down, there's not much you can do. Min using his flicker, trying to run away, managing to get Box as well as Noir, but not exactly in the turret. Gary tried to go on Sasa, but Sasa survives. Sasa dish out the damage. Lola going behind Smooth. He doesn't care. Smooth doesn't care. He goes for the kill. He manages to catch him off. Oh, how crazy is this move? 3-0-1.
That's a series of unfortunate events for Team HAQ there, showing Team SMG are truly in control. Every attempt Team HAQ is making to try and pick someone off, they find they're too far behind. Now Noir taking a lot of damage, gets the kick on Min, but in the wrong direction. Panda, Yin Yang overturn, gonna find the clip, and he is out of position. Another kill going over the Box.
This looks like it's almost checkmate, because Smooth getting another kill, and he's going on Lola. Look at how much damage he just absorbed. Smooth. He is on my personal dream team, and he's showing up his case. Why? He's probably the best EXP laner here in Malaysia.
This is just incredible. Smooth having such a great time here. Usually, you expect him to play heroes like the Esme, the Uranus, but he has really been branching out recently, having a stellar performance with Phoveus yesterday, and now the Deroff 4-0, getting kills no one is expecting. Looking at the items overall, most of Team SMG has already completed 2, whereas Team HAQ, some of their members are still struggling to get that first one.
Yeah, looking at the items, they have nothing to really kill anyone from the side of Team SMG because Panda just finished his Blade of Despair, but I kind of feel like he needs a Malefic Roar as well to make sure that he can deal with Box, Noir, as well as Smooth. But in this kind of situation, the 7,000 gold lead going into 8,000, even if Team SMG makes a mistake, I kind of doubt Panda as well as MANNN can dish out the damage because MANNN, he only has a Genius Wand, and 9 minutes in the game, I don't think it's enough.
But I think it is still a little bit early to count them out fully. We saw some games in the previous day where a 10k net worth difference was actually just made up by one team. Harry, and a lot of it, he does not have purple. He has to dance around Team SMG. Look at them coming at him like waves of zombies. The Way of the Dragon finds him, but he still has to the blades. He will be able to escape, but that was nail biting.
I'm gonna call it, what is this, 10-minute? Gary, he's been doing this quite a lot in MPL. He's always close to death. But again, with a slither of health, he manages to to run away. This guy, like, he's insane, man. He's insane. Big respects to him.
But that was a pretty good maneuver by Noir as well, using Conceal and then Flicker to get out of a sticky situation himself. Gary now has just been starved of the purple buff. He has not been able to experience the warmth of its embrace throughout this entire game. Give this man his buff. He literally cannot play, getting caught out by Team SMG at every turn. Looking at the damage dealt, Smooth, he's basically playing a different game from everyone else.
Usually we say this and people take it wrongly, but it is kind of like a 1v9 moment where he's just like, you guys can farm, you guys can push, let me handle everyone else from the side of Team HAQ. And right now, 10,000 gold lead. Team SMG, they're looking too strong. Gary, I feel bad for you, man. I feel bad for Gary as well as Lola. This is not a fun game for them.
Really, it is not. And now the Lord gonna be pushing up top lane, mid here too, already falling to the side of Team SMG. Lola literally cannot hold lane at all, which is what his hero is designed to do simply because of this Jira. They are able to clear up the Lord up top lane, but I don't think Team SMG is gonna be stopping their advance just about yet.
Right now, Team HAQ, they're really trying to hold the lane, but again, it's so difficult just because of how Box engage onto Team HAQ, managing to catch MANNN. He's a little bit low, he's trying to run away, and looks like still not gonna get the kill. Gary is going to the backline, managing to get Box, and now focusing on the Noir, but Sasa, look at that damage. There's nowhere for you to go except back to the base.
There's not much Team HAQ can do at this point. 10k net worth difference. Team SMG in a dominating lead. And unlike other games we have seen, where the defending team does have some sort of item foundation to actually defend the base, right now, we might not be seeing that from Team HAQ. There's just so much control over the map from the blue side.
And we gotta acknowledge that Team SMG, they're being very disciplined because this is a situation where you could easily throw the game. You could just force it out. It's like, dude, 10,000 gold lead. Let's just force it, you know. But they're not really forcing it. They're getting one inhibitor, and then they're like, all right, looks like Box has been taken down. Let's just go back. Looking at the Lord push advantage, they got 14,000 tower damage, which is okay. I put my barometer, anything above 15 is amazing. So 14 is. It's pretty good. It's pretty okay. And again, for the side of Team SMG, there's really not much in the map that they can secure anyways, just because of how clean they've been playing. They've been getting turrets one by one.
This is signature Team SMG gameplay. They just choke out their opponents. When they have an advantage, they're not going to let it go, and they're going to take it as slow and steady as necessary to confirm victory. Team HAQ, they want this purple buff, but Team SMG, I don't think they're going to give it to him. Tempest of Blades comes out. Does he get it? He finally has the purple buff, but he might die here, and he will! Mega kill going over to Sasa.
Unfortunately, previously... Dude, that feels bad. The moment you actually get it, you can't run away just because of your first skill. You don't actually have it off cooldown. And right now for the side of Team HAQ, they have one jungler down. So they kind of have to concede this Lord. They're still trying, but look at me. He is the tank, but look at how much damage he's taking. Mind Energy managing to get a kill, but Sasa moving forward, forcing it up, and Smooth, who can actually handle the amount of damage that he's pushing off. Double kill. An amazing game by Smooth.
This is just as smooth as it could possibly be. And now Noir jumping in, gets the kick onto Lola. Where did he go? Godlike going over to the Dira. Here comes Heavy Spin. And Gary, he just respawned. Let him play the game. Team SMG says no. Crystal exposed. They know they've won. They're flexing in front of the base. That's going to be a victory going over the Team SMG.
Borderline unfair. Borderline unfair. Looking at how Team SMG plays, they execute A, B, C, D up until Z. Every single thing that they should do, they've done. Control the jungle. Execute it. Making sure that they win all the lanes. Looking at the numbers, especially from Smooth, it's very evident. And then, not doing any mistakes. James must be so proud of their performance right now.
I can imagine the pride from the fans, and you can hear it in the crowd. It's good to see that the spirits of the fans of Team HAQ are not broken.